Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcus. Have a seat. Hey, and by the way, before I start talking to our episode sponsors, our good friends, Tim at Crowd Mics, has set us up again with our Crowd Mics interactive device here. If you go to your cell phone, you can go to the App Store, or no, you just log in through your Crowd Mics app. Here we go. Passcode is 123 after you've selected Mesa Morning Live event. And this enables you to communicate with me through the iPad and any questions you might have for any of our guests today. Instead of, if you're nervous to speak into a microphone, you don't have to. Crowd Mics will rig it where you can just come right through the iPad and I'll ask the questions. You don't have to. And that way you can get all your questions answered. So anyway, with that piece of housekeeping out of the way, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about, I'm sure this is a busy time of year at SRP. You're cranking, are people trying to keep their houses cool at this point?
They most definitely are.
Yeah.
Yes, yesterday was a record day.
Was it really?
115 degrees here in the Phoenix metropolitan area.
Wow, 150. It didn't seem more than like 113. It's kind of balmy.
It was balmy.
Wow, and today is, I hear, another possible record. So now how does the power grid, how does your power grid hold up to things like that?
Well, we have a very diverse portfolio of power supplies, so our power grid is doing a really good job. I am here to talk about water. That is my expertise.
Okay, well, let's I was going to lead you down that way once I read my notes. Hey, really, if I was good at this, would I be here? Seriously. Man, that didn't even sound right. Talk about water. What's going on?
Well, what we're here to talk about is where your water comes from. So before it hits your tap, whether you're drinking water out of your tap for your home use, or you have a big business and you're making beer, which the aisles down the hallway are loaded with beer pictures. It made me very thirsty. That water, a majority of that water, especially here in Mesa, starts as snow. It melts in the spring and summer months. It goes down into our rivers and to our reservoirs, hits the canals, is treated by the city treatment plants, and then makes it to the taps and the faucets.
Wow, that's, you know, we're so spoiled in this country, we just think that our water comes from the tap. We don't think about the original source of that. It doesn't come from the Animas River, does it?
No.
Those of you that watch the news. So how are we looking on our water supply? That's the big question. People, when I travel around the country, people say, oh, in Arizona, you guys are going to run out of water, aren't you? Please say we're not.
We're not.
Okay.
We're doing a really good job to manage our water supplies. We also have a very diverse portfolio of water supplies. The majority of our water is from renewable supplies, from the snow and the precipitation in the forested landscapes, which is why it's so important to protect those lands.
That's great. And Marcus, what would you like to add anything to that?
I'm just here for moral support, but no, we're, as Rebecca mentioned, the forests are really important. I'm with, actually with a group called National Forest Foundation, and we're partnered closely with SRP to try to help protect our watersheds and improve our watersheds. And so as Rebecca mentioned, all the water starts up in the forests in northern Arizona. So we're working on an effort to really improve the resiliency of those forests so that they can withstand large disturbances like wildfires and floods.
That's great. I know forest management is such a touchy, I have a place up in the mountains, and you know, when you see controlled burns and stuff like that, people kind of panic, but you've got to take care of the forest, and it's not been done properly over the years. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and your point about fire is spot on. What a lot of people don't realize is that fire is a natural part of our forests in Arizona. The fires up in northern Arizona burned every 5 to 20 years historically. And what happened is we stopped letting fire burn, and now our forests are basically out of whack. And so we have to do a lot of work to put them back in the shape they need to be. We need to go in and remove some of the excess trees that are there and reintroduce fire and do more prescribed burning to keep the landscape healthy.
One of my neighbors up there is with the Forest Service, and he told me, he said the healthiest the national forests have ever been were back in the days. Think about it. Covered wagons went through the national forest. And now every 5 feet there's a tree, you know, trying to get water and sun, and It's overcrowded.
It is one of the amazing numbers that you hear thrown out is that historically these forests had 25 to 50 trees per acre. Now we're at over 1,000 trees per acre in a lot of spots. So it's very unhealthy.
And we'll hear from someone deeply immersed in politics later, but a lot of times it's people on the East Coast sitting around a big table trying to determine forest policy because they've heard that there was a bear that told them that forest fires are bad. And
Smokey still has a place.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about Smokey. And that, so well, good. That's awesome. So we should feel good about the state of our forests and our water supply. We should feel good.
We're good on the water supply. We're working really hard on managing that supply. The thing with the forest is that no one entity can really do this work alone, which is why we're partnering, SRP is partnering with the National Forest Foundation and other entities, including Crescent Crown and Santan Brewery. We're developing some unique partnerships on the communication and the outreach of these issues. And so there's a lot of place for individuals, for businesses to participate and really get engaged in these forest issues because we all really have a stake in what's happening.
And you can see on the slide the Northern Arizona Forest Fund. That's the particular project we're working on where businesses can invest. As Rebecca mentioned, Crescent Crown and Santan are helping to invest to get some good work on the ground done. But they're also helping us communicate the importance of watershed health to everyone in Arizona.
Here's just a thought. I've thought about this a lot, but maybe to eliminate some of the middlemen, maybe just a big canal full of beer.
I like that idea.
People would protect that.
People would protect that.
That would be awesome for tourism. San Antonio has that stupid river walk. Yeah. We could have the beer canal.
I think that's a great idea.
Wouldn't even need to drag a cooler.
Look into
Just
that.
Just a cup.
That is awesome. Well, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Not a question.
Great.
Just a comment.
Perfect.
Does anybody have any questions for these guys? We thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come and talk to us a little bit about this. If people have questions, is there a website or you can hang around? What should...
Yeah, we can hang around. There's also a website, srpnet.com/forests. Takes you to SRP's page on all of the work that we're doing in forests and water.
Yep, and we have our business cards and information on table and back as well, too.
That's awesome. And you're going to stick around because SRP's provided something really cool for afterwards, too. So you're going to all want to stick around. But thank you so much for stopping by. How about a nice round of applause for Rebecca and Marcus? Thank you.